Mr. Donahue, why don't you walk me through what you think about how to do this problem? Subtract the 8 first. Combine like terms is an old phrase we used to use. All right? So subtract 8 from both sides. I'm with you. I'm getting that's a really good, I would bet that's in general going to be a good move. Now it's all twitching again. All right, good. What else you got?
And you multiply the whole thing by m.
Multiply the whole thing by m. Why? The m on the bottom, right? That one there has got to go, right? So to get rid of that, you're going to multiply both sides by m at some point. You might have done it later in the problem or before that point. Doesn't matter. These two cancel out. This gives me an m squared and a 2m.
You square or take the square root, you get rid of that square.
Oh, no.
No, no.
No. If I take the square root of this point, I have to do it to both sides? What a train wreck that would be.
This is where it stops.
Okay, I have an m squared and an m and a not an m. What kind of problem is this? Be louder, I didn't hear you. This is a quadratic. Which means we're going to have to set it equal to 0 and factor or use the quadratic equation, one of the two, right? Because I got an m squared and m and a not an m. I'm down to, there's only one tool in my toolbox, which is go to use it, solve it like a quadratic problem, right? So I'm going to move everything one side to the other side. I'm going to move it over to this side because I don't like negative m squared. That bothers me. And being lazy, things that bother me, I just make go away. So far, so good? Okay. Now, how do I solve this? Okay. So there's two ways to go about it. One of them is to go ahead and factor and set each of the factors equal to 0, right? Because if I have two things multiplied together, if one only way to make it 0 is one of them happens to be 0, right? So the easiest way to do this is to turn it into two things multiplied together and do that. Option 2, quadratic equation. Go nuclear. Okay? I'm going to factor this first, see if I can do it. If I can't do it, then I must be stuck doing the quadratic equation. Okay with you?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. How do I factor this?
Is that what we did yesterday?
Yeah.
I forgot to do it.
Ah.
Oh.
Ah, it was review though. Factors of 15, that gives me 2. 1 and 15 doesn't work. 3 and 5. Does 3 minus 5 or 5 minus 3 give me 2?
Yeah.
All right, that's got to be them then. I put an m here, parentheses, m here, parentheses. Again, if you know how to do this by what Ms. D taught you, please do it that way. Please do it that way. Do not learn a new way. When you try to learn 2 ways, you learn none, right?
Yeah.
Stick with what she taught you. All right, so I need to make a 3, so 1 times what gives me 3? 3. 1 times what gives me 5? 5. Agreed? Well, we got to finish up the problem by checking to see if I did this right. Oh, wait, that's wrong. One of those has to be negative, doesn't it? How about 3 has to be negative? That's going to be negative. My apologies. How about I solved it? I have m equals?
Yeah.
I do?
Everyone knows you're 0.
I need m equals. So I said each of the factors equal to 0. I go m plus 5 equals 0, and m minus 3 equals 0, right? Because if either one of those is 0, the whole thing has to go to 0. That's our reasoning. And I get m equals negative 5, and m equals 3. Agreed?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I should check those answers. So I'm going to check them super fast. If I plug in a 3, I get 5 minus, oh, sorry, plug in, whoa. That doesn't work. Did I do that wrong? 5 minus 3, yeah, that doesn't work. What? Does? 5. Oh, 10. I was thinking 0 over here. I wasn't even looking over there. Okay, let's try this again. 3, 5, 13 minus 3, that's 10. Beautiful. Thank you for catching before I, went to spiral and fell on the ground. Okay, negative 5 gives me negative 3. Plus 5 plus 8 gives me 10. Now, this is going to seem rather irrelevant, but I need to start talking about it right now. Last year in Algebra 2, you were asked to do things like this, so hopefully that isn't completely new to you. One of the tricks we did right at the beginning, Mr. Donahue, is we multiply both sides by m. Let me give you an interesting thought. If I did 3 equals 7, is that true? No. What if I multiply both sides by 0? Is it true now?
Yeah.
Oh, am I allowed to do that? No, I'm not allowed to multiply both sides by 0. Which leads to an interesting question. What if m was 0? Yeah. Is that acceptable?
No.
So we're assuming m can't be 0. In fact, in fancy textbooks, when you wrote this step out, they would write right next to it, m not equal to 0. Now, at the end it didn't matter because none of my answers were 0, correct?
Yeah.
But if one of my answers had been 0, when I went to go plug it back in, I would have recognized I have a problem, correct?
Yeah.
We call those extraneous solutions, okay? And this year, we're going to spend a little more time talking about it than last year. When you're in Algebra 2, we don't want to mess with extraneous solutions. You guys kind of have this mastered to a greater or lesser degree. We also want to talk about extraneous solutions. So when you get done, I need you to check to see if your 2 answers make this go haywire. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't need you really to check to see if it's right, although that's a good habit, right? Check to see if it actually works. Yeah. But I do need you to check to see if you're not doing something that's going to make the bottoms equal to 0 or make a negative square root bar. Does that make sense? Everybody make sense? All right. With that in mind, you have lots of fun. We have problems 2 through 6 to do without me even talking to you about it. It's going to be great. All right, let's get a set equal to 0. So 2b squared plus 7b minus 9 equals 0. I'm going to do it over here. Factors of negative 18, that give me 7. 1 and 18, not so much. 2 and 9. Yes, because I need 1 to be negative, right? So that'd be negative 2. So I can do it this way. I need a b. I got a b. Oh my goodness, it's getting terrible. What times what gives me 2b squared? One of these needs to be a 2, right? So I put 2 here. 2 times what gives me negative 2? That's a negative 1. 1 times what gives me 9? Just plain old 9. So my solutions are going to end up what makes these equal to 0. So I plug in so I got 2b plus 9 equals 0, and that's going to give me 2b equals negative 9, or b equals negative 9 halves, which we can't write like that. I'm going too fast, way too fast. Slow down. I feel the bell approaching. I will slow down. Plus the screen is twitching. Good, Spark? I can't write that like that, so it's negative 4.5. Agreed? Okay. Whoop. This one over here is b minus 1 equals 0. That's when b is equal to b minus 1 equals 0, so b is equal to what? To 1. Okay. I expect you to say that quicker. All right, so one last thing. Check to see if it makes any of my answers incorrect. Does it make any of my answers incorrect? Is there any way that makes this bottom equal? So if I put a 1 in here, or a 1 here, or 1 there, does it make the bottoms equal to 0? No. But put a 4.5 in there. No. No. We're good. Now, you probably should check your answers. You don't have to. Now, let me give you a slightly different way to approach this to give you one more tool for your tool bag. And that would be like this. What if I give you 4 over b minus 3 plus 3 over b equals negative 2b over b minus 3? What if I recognize these are like terms, right? So I move it to the other side, and I would get 3 over b equals negative 2b b minus 3 minus 4 over b minus 3, right? Well, these have a common denominator, right? So you just add the tops. And if I did that, then I could simply cross multiply is what they used to call this back in grade school and finish it that way. Okay? That would work as well. Which one's the right way to do it? I don't care. Both work. All right, bells ringing. So, for homework, do problem number 3 and only problem number 3. That is your whole homework. Do problem number 3. Okay? We'll meet back. You guys will be online. You guys are online. We'll be in class. The people that are home, remember that 1/8 is your picture front and back. That's what you're turning in today. People in class, you got 1/8. Please do that by midnight.